If your messy house is literally just your problem, yet you are with somebody, like you share a bed with someone, there's another adult in the house, you guys are having sex, and it is just your problem again, yet they live there with you, that is a huge problem. So before we dive into this video, there are 3 things I want you to remember about relationships. Number 1, there is a big difference between having a great love story and then a great life story. A love story is all the great dates, all the great experiences, all the sex. I honestly think you can have many great loves, but very few people equate to being what you'd want to call a life partner or someone that you could truly go through life with. And so how do you know a life partner from just another great love story? I think that time and pressure reveals to you when you have a life partner, a great life partner. Just because you decide to share your life with someone for the rest of your life, it doesn't mean that they're actually a great life partner. You don't know that you have a great life partner or a terrible one until life happens. So it's a big difference between going out having fun with someone, wild dates, crazy nights, you know, all that good stuff, versus how they react when there are dishes that need to be washed and diapers that need to be changed, and you know, everyone's operating on no sleep or less money. That's when you find out, okay, you know, did I pick right or did I really mess up? Point number 2, in a nutshell, I think there are only 3 things that you really need in a relationship to, you know that it's a good one, a solid one. So those 3 things would be kindness, shared vulnerability, and then understanding. So they're pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, you don't want someone that's going to be a butthole to you. Number 2, you want someone that you can share your fears with, share your dreams with, and feel safe doing that, and vice versa. They should be able to share those things with you as well. And then understanding. It's nothing like talking to people or talking to someone and they literally don't get you. That's when you end up with that scenario where you're in a relationship or you're with someone, yet you literally feel alone. And that has to be one of the worst feelings ever. Talk about misery, right? I believe that when you have those 3 ingredients present, that's what allows you to actually work through any situation. You're giving that to them and they're giving that to you. And point number 3 is that the truth will always set you free. I don't know how many people have gotten into relationships, and honestly, y'all be lying. I know you do. Don't worry, I've done my share of lying too. And I'm talking about lying about the little things, saying that things are okay that honestly, they're really not. Like, I got standards, okay? I'm just being nice right now, you don't know it type moments. And I'm sure you can relate. So all I'm asking you to do is be honest about what you want, be honest about your expectations of others, and lastly, be honest about yourself. Are you super needy? Do you have attachment issues? Are you an absolute tyrant? These are things you need to know about yourself within any relationship. So if you do not operate from a place of truth, yeah, life is gonna get real messy real fast. All right, so again, today we're talking about what your messy house reveals about your relationship. There's one big thing that I do want everyone to remember before I get into the 7 points that I've set aside. And that is what works for you and your person may not work for other people. And I think that's perfectly fine and something that you have to be okay with too. But remember this within your own relationship. Everything may not be equal, but it should definitely be fair. You should be able to see what someone is bringing to the table, and you need to know what you're bringing to the table. And by that, I simply mean it could be very simple things. Maybe you really are the person that takes care of the entire house. Cool. The other person is the one that brings home the bacon. Great. You're the one that actually invests the money. Super awesome. They're the person that finds the fun things to do so that the relationship, you know, keeps its energy and the vibe going. Amazing. Where things begin to feel unfair or unbalanced is when you are the person, again, taking care of the home. They come in, they drop all their stuff on the floor and literally refuse to pick it up. That's an issue for so many reasons. Why are you leaving your clothes on the floor? It's rude. We live together, pick it up. You'll have to, again, examine your relationship, examine your life, and really strive for that fairness within a relationship. So here we go. 7 things that your messy house is telling you about your relationship. Number 1, you guys are really just not on the same page. What is their definition of what a good relationship looks like versus yours? If you guys were to actually sit down, write this out and compare notes, chances are it's not going to look the same, and this may be an issue. It can even get deeper than that. If they believe that, hey, I'm doing man's work and you're doing woman's work, and so when they come home, that just is what it is, and you're left to, like I said, take care of everything. There's nothing wrong with the fact that that's what they believe or that's what they want. The issue comes in when what you want is something completely different. That's where you guys really need to, sit down and hash this thing out. Typically, you want to do these things before you're even living with someone, before you're getting married to someone. But of course, how often do we actually do the wise thing? Yeah, never. So if you're already living with a person, I think you should definitely embrace having these very awkward conversations in order to get your life on track and create a life that you truly love, get your house under control, and just make this a non-issue so that we can go on with life. What your messy house is revealing about your relationship, point number 2. There could be an issue with communication. And by that, I'm thinking more so in lines with, how a manager at work will take classes to become an effective communicator, right? They need to know how to speak and talk the talk to get people to do whatever they need them to do. Well, at home, same thing. You need to be an effective communicator. And a lot of times in a relationship, obviously at home, when you share your life with someone, there's lots of jobs and work that needs to be done. When I think about it, most of us respond better to doing something when we know why we're doing something. If someone tells you, please don't walk on my grass, you're like, okay, cool, whatever. And you may find yourself, trying not to walk on the grass, but then you're like, hey, I'm gonna run across real quick, shouldn't be a big deal. She just asked me not to walk on it. Yet you don't know the why. Maybe there's like bombs or something in the grass, right? It could be a minefield, and that's why they don't want you to walk on the grass. So you walk on the grass, you get blown up, and it's like, oh my God, if you had known why, you never would have walked on the grass, right? And it's like, why didn't they tell me? This is why they didn't want me to walk on the grass. So I'm just saying all that to say whys are extremely powerful and motivating. So when you're going over what you need your partner to do, make sure there's some whys in there. I'm not saying that they will or won't be super responsive or whatever. We don't have control over how others respond to us, but we can control how we're communicating and expressing ourselves to others. Side note, if I sound all like, hey guys, if your partner's being mean to you, this is what we're gonna do about it, it's because I have my retainers in today. I don't know why I put them in today of all days, but nonetheless, they're in. So if I sound, don't judge me. I'm getting my teeth straight. If you're finding any of this valuable so far, definitely hit the like button. And if you like how I sound with my retainer in, definitely subscribe so you can get more of that. All right, let's move on. So point number 3, what your messy house may be revealing about your relationship is that no one's willing to compromise. Maybe both of you have drawn lines in the sand and no one's willing to budge at all. You want things one way, they know that they want things another way. That's an easy one to fix because ultimately it's kind of like the art of the negotiation or something like that. Isn't that a book or something? Anyway, the art of the deal. The art of the deal. Yeah, there we go. That right there. Everything should be a conversation at least. And then from there, because we're living in a shared space, if you're really not thinking that you're gonna have to compromise on anything, I think you may need to, reevaluate your stance on relationships as a whole. Or you may just need to be a person that lives on your own. And vice versa, your partner, right? If they don't think they need to compromise on anything when it comes to sharing a space with somebody, go get an apartment, okay? Live on your own. Let's say they like all their stuff out in the open so that they can see it. Things are organized to them, but not necessarily organized to you. You're a person that likes things tucked away, hidden. You just want your decor out. You want your house to be home and garden ready all the time. Instagram, drool-worthy type stuff. I get it, I got it. So what would a compromise be in this type of situation? To me, it would be the whole idea of there's some no-fly zones. Like, this is the area where you can't put your stuff here. This is my home and garden area. Yet they have a hidden space or a room somewhere in the house where they can let loose and be however sloppy they want to be, and it's not a place where you go to antagonize them or, whatever. It is a place that you don't have to see, where they can just be themselves, and then you can still have your order, your, Stepford wife thing going on, and boom, compromise, win-win, everybody's happy, no blood was drawn. What's the issue with that? So maybe no good compromises have been presented. If the energy around your conversations is more so, hey, I'm right, I want you to do it this way, and the other person is the exact same way, they're saying that they're right and they want you to do things their way, that's something both of you will need to drop, and you're going to have to get into this idea of, hey, we're a team, we're literally on the same side here, we're not opposing forces. Now, what can we do so that we both win? What a messy house is revealing about your relationship. Point number 4, this person that you're with has more issues than you realized. Like, for real. Maybe they really are not a team player. People really need therapy. Some people are really too immature to take care of a home. Your house affects your entire life. Your partner affects your entire life. If everything you're seeing around you is messy, yeah, you got work to do. So anyway, your partner just might actually be crazy. Yeah, they may honestly just have some deeper issues, and you guys may need to just work on that so that they can show up in a way that promotes a fulfilling life together. This would involve, some self-help, some self-actualization, and even therapy. But I do want to say one thing, which is don't ever walk up to someone and be like, yeah, you need therapy and yada, yada, yada. We all need therapy, okay? Honestly, we all do. So it more so be you start therapy, you start a self-help journey, and you invite them along on that journey. But it should be something you focus on, and then you can share about your journey, and hopefully that encourages them to start their own. But if you come at them like, yo, you crazy, dog, yeah, it may not go over so well. Unless you guys have that kind of relationship and you can really navigate the language around that, by all means, definitely let them know, like, hey, you cray. We're gonna have to do something about this. All right, so what your messy house may be revealing about your relationship, point number 5, is that they think you're crazy. So you're talking to them about, hey, I need you to make sure you put your dishes in the dishwasher after you use them. Don't leave them on the counter, don't leave them in the bedroom, please just take them to the kitchen, handle that. Your partner is like, yo, this chick is crazy. It's just a glass, it's on the coffee table, I'm gonna use it again. Why am I gonna put this away? She literally needs to leave me alone. She's acting like I'm not out here working, busting my butt to make sure I get these Louis bags, or get these Kava pita bread, whatever things that she wants. Yeah, I'm currently addicted to those. Obviously, yes, the person is also bringing a lot to the table, but what they're feeling is that, you're literally attacking their sovereignty. And they think that, you are not looking at the big picture here, which is that they already do a lot. And so for you to zone in on this one little thing makes them feel like, hey, you don't appreciate me. I'm right about this though. You're just not looking at things correctly, yada, yada, yada. You're the crazy one. I think the tragedy of this is that it has become an us versus them type situation. This person fails to realize that them putting the glass away, making sure that you don't have to put it away, simply means that they care. It's just a way to make your life easier. It's a way for them to say they appreciate you. It's a way for them to say they respect you, or respect your time, respect you as a person. So by fighting with you over something that they're saying is so small, and it's kind of like, well, if it's so small, why can't you do it then? Not that it's a test or anything, but honestly, it's kind of disrespectful that you're gonna leave these dishes here for me. You're my life partner. You're a person I'm having sex with, letting you rub on my and all this stuff, and this is how you're gonna treat me? Yeah, if they're trying to make you feel crazy or gaslight you, these are bigger issues. This goes back to the whole, there's a big difference between a love story or a lover and a life partner. Okay, guys, the facts are just the facts. This may not be a life partner. Sorry, let's move on to the next one. What your messy house is revealing about your relationship. Point number 6. Maybe your partner is not showing up in the house because the house is literally that crazy. They don't know what to do. I've talked about this before. Sometimes the house is so out of control that nobody could keep the house clean. You may be saying, hey, I need you to clean the baseboards. Yet, you've got clutter and crap everywhere. And it's like, chick, there's no point in cleaning these baseboards. Why? Why are we cleaning the baseboards? What about the kitchen? What about the closets? What about all the clothes and the toys on the floor? What about all these crumbs? Like, what about all this stuff? So it's an issue where sometimes we need to take a step back and really examine the whole situation. And if you know your house is literally out of control or there's no type of true order, it could be as simple as maybe you do ask them to do the dishes, but they honestly don't know where the dishes go because there's just stuff everywhere. Tupperware with plates with cups, just all sorts of wacky things going on in that kitchen. Maybe we can do something like get labels, you know, we need just a little bit more organization, and then we can start, you know, they can be part of the organization process as well. It may be an absolutely crazy situation that they just don't know how to manure. It may actually be a crazy situation that they honestly don't know how to maneuver through. And of course, you guys, you know, should be able to do this together, but you may have to take lead on letting them know, like, hey, this is where I want things to go. This is how it needs to be done. This is why. Here are the labels to assist, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that was point number 6. The house may literally be so crazy and so chaotic that they're overwhelmed. You know, they may have anxiety stepping into that house, you know, and then here you come talking about clean this or clean that. And again, when you zoom out, it's like, whoa, chick, I think we need to just blow this house down and maybe start over. Here's my last point. What your messy house may be revealing about your relationship, and that is that you don't have any standards within the relationship. Think about this. Maybe your partner grew up in a very messy house. They just don't have experience with this. They've never seen what it takes to keep a house running, you know, take care of the family, the dishes, you know, just all that goes into life. Is that all that goes into life? That's pretty sad. Yeah, there's more that goes into life, thank God. So let's say they grew up a certain way. We get that, we got it. But the thing is, they're in your life now. So I say it's not an excuse. You have to let people know, hey, this is the standard. This is how we live. Yeah, we'll incorporate some of that compromise and whatnot into it, but you really have to be okay standing on your standards because that's how you protect your peace. That's how you protect your happiness. That's how you live a life that's fulfilling and a life that you don't hate and one that you can be proud of. If you feel like you're really, you know, compromising on your standards in a really big way with your partner because they, you know, just don't have experience doing whatever, that's something you're gonna have to examine within yourself. And I think that you should recommit to your standards, to those things that you believe in, and let that person know. It may be an awkward conversation. You know, I don't know how long you guys have been together and living the way that you've been living. As long as you can breathe, you can make changes and you can tell them, hey, today is the day we turn the situation around. I think another thing when it comes to standards and whatnot is that it's very easy to feel like you're mothering your partner. I don't want to feel like I'm a mother to the person that I'm saying is my life partner. Like, what? I don't understand. I have children. I'm their mother. There's no way I'm going to be having to tell you, wash the dishes, mop this, clean up behind yourself, yada, 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 when I know you literally go to work, you manage like 50 people, you're out here fixing cars, mowing grass, you know, you're thinking of things everywhere else in the world. But when you come here, you're acting like you can't figure out left from right. That's a problem for me. This is something you're going to have to examine within yourself. Are your standards really being met? Are you making excuses for them not showing up the way that you think a partner should show up? And vice versa, even not just standards for your partner, but standards for yourself. Have you allowed yourself to lower your own standards just to make peace or, you know, whatever it may be? Don't be afraid to rock the boat. Sometimes that's just what you have to do to get what you need done. And that's just life. So when you're looking around and you're seeing this mess all around you, whether it's within the relationship, within the house, within these different areas of your life, just remember it's a mirror. It's showing you where the issues are in your life, what needs your attention, what needs to be dealt with, not later, but now. You only have one life to live. You don't know how long you have to live. Now is all you have. At the end of the day, we know what we want in a relationship. We know when we're not getting it in a relationship. We know when we have an amazing partner. We know when we have a terrible partner. And so I think that we need to take a step back and really just analyze the facts here. Do you have a life partner? Well, you do have a life partner, but can you guys get this on the right track? So I'm really curious to know, after hearing all this, are you now looking at your partner saying to yourself like, like, wow, I really do think I have a great partner, a great foundation to get our house together, get our life together, yada yada? Or are you thinking, yeah, I didn't pick so good?